little slow these days when they have back surgery.
Thanks, Kenny. I just had back fusion 4 months ago, knee replacement 8 months ago, and they wanted the right knee this year and my neck, and I said, let's put that off to next season. I'm a little sore in the throat, found out a little thyroid issue. Hopefully we'll get that worked out. But first, I want to thank Troy for the kind words about my nephew and Nichols State. And congratulations on your upset win against Nichols this past weekend. No, you guys really took it to us, and but I'll say Mike's they were flat because they beat Kansas, so maybe that's the excuse. But no, you guys put a good whipping on those guys, and I was very impressed. And good luck to you guys the rest of the season. And talk about the Saints, Kenny. Don't realize this, but you asked me last year to come speak again, and I said I would. And after they got blown, after they lost their first game of the season, when you called me 2 weeks ago, I'm thinking they're gonna beat a team called Tampa Bay without their quarterback. I figured, no, here I am speaking again on another loss to New Orleans Saints. Next season, let's wait till they get in that winning streak and I'll come speak for you guys. Overall, let's sitting there looking at the game, kind of watching it. I don't really go this season to the games. Kind of hard to travel and move around, but I just watching the game. All season, the off season, I kept talking about their defense. Kept talking about, man, they look really good. Been in their practices. I looked at the rotation, the depth. Last year, I believe we're not quite right about this. Ed and Kenny might know. I think they had 15 kids or 15 players on IR, and about 8 or 9 of them were on defense. So I'm thinking when we get those guys back, another year in their belt with Coach Allen, I thought the defense would be much better off. And as I was watching this ball game, you got 37-year-olds at Ryan Fitzpatrick, 37 years old, and he throws 417 yards, and I think it's 21 and 28. And I'm thinking to myself, retirement sounds like I can come back and play. If he can do this, I can come back and do it. But I was shocked. We want to talk about the rookie of the year, defensive cornerback. Well, he got toasted. And hopefully saw in the mirror at the end of the game, I got beat. Ken Crowley got beat. Everybody was getting beat. No pass pressure. No pressure at all on quarterbacks. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, this can't be happening. We started last season in Oakland. It was a close ball game, came back, we lose to a 2-point conversion. This year, I knew we had the 9 on offense. We figured, keep the game close, he'll pull it out. We still don't have the running game. I don't know if it's because Ingram wasn't there or what the deal was. Maybe because we were down early and we had to throw the ball much more than was anticipated. But overall, if you look at the New Orleans Saints, they have the players. It's one game, and that's the key to it. It's their first game of the season. What happened last season? We went 0-2, and everybody was like, oh my God. This year, maybe we'll get things worked out. I'm sure Sean Payton's gone back, looked at the film, understood some things. Some players have to play better. Didn't hear much about Davenport during the game. He's the #1 draft pick. He's got to play better. Cam Jordan, the leader, has got to play better. Linebacking core has to step up. But the secondary, you played against the receivers. Nowadays, the NFL, they're going to bigger receivers. 6'3", 6'4", 6'5". You don't find DBs 6'3", 6'4", 6'5" who can play DB. They're 5'11", 6 foot. It's hard to play against guys like Jackson. And who's the other receiver, Kenny? Evans, number 13. That's some solid receiving core there. You look at each and every team. Look what Michael Thomas did this past week. I believe he caught 16, 17 passes. He's a big range guy to throw to. You don't see the smaller guys going to the small guys. Smaller guys every now and then to catch 3 or 4 balls a game. They'll do their job. If you want to go deep nowadays, you got a guy 6'4", 6'5" who can run. They're going deep to the big guys. So we're going to have to work extremely hard this week in understanding the receiving core with our DBs. Maybe they were reading some press clippings. I don't know what was going on. I really thought this defense, the way it ended last year, the way they played last season was going to be better. Now, give the benefit of the doubt, it's one game. It's the first game of the season. Nobody wins the Super Bowl in the first game of the season. I don't think anybody in this room would ever think the New Orleans Saints would go undefeated. I picked them 15-1, but you know, no, just kidding. But if they do go and they put some things together, the schedule, it's a tough schedule for them. But look, you got the Cleveland Browns, and from what I saw, what they did this past weekend, coming back against a team who people are thinking in the AFC is going to make the Super Bowl, the Pittsburgh Steelers, they end up playing them to a tie. Kid missed a field goal for Cleveland, could have snapped that losing streak. Please, New Orleans Saints, I remember one time in the past, you ended up letting somebody else get their first win against you. And it happened to be the same team you lost to this past weekend. So knowing that Cleveland's coming in, and they get some good football players. They've upgraded their roster. It's going to be tough for the Saints to come off of a loss, but I really believe Sean Payton is going to get after them this week. They're off today. They'll come back in Wednesday, start practice. Offensively, we know what Drew Brees can do, what he can do. He's close to 40 years of age, put outstanding numbers up. I just amazed at what Michael Thomas can do. Running game, you can't kill Alvin Kamara. What I didn't like was this. Young man fumbled the football, the new kid they brought in town, and then he pulls him out of the game. You have to play them again. You can't keep Kamara in the game. You're going to get him killed. You got to find another running back some way, somehow, to relieve him. Mark Ingram's not going to be here for a few more weeks, and you got to have another running back or two to help out in the running department. But overall, I'm not panicking. It's still a long year. I think offensively we'll be fine. We've got to make some adjustments on the defensive side of the football, and I think we'll be okay. All right, anybody want to ask any questions? Wow. No questions? That was good. Oh, one. Oh, yeah.
Hey, John, you know the pass rush wasn't there this week. Cam Jordan's obviously getting a lot of attention. How do you improve that in a week to get that better?
The way I would probably think that what Coach Allen is going to do is maybe schematically change a few things up front. You got to get Cam Jordan, but somebody else has got to be the guy. It just can't be Cam Jordan being the only guy making all the tackles or making some play. You know the old saying, and I see it, and I hear it, you don't necessarily have to have sacks. You can pressure a quarterback to make an incomplete pass. That's as good as a sack. Make quarterback make a bad throw here, there, we get an INT, things like that happens. But if you're not getting any pressure, this guy sat back there, Fitzpatrick, and he hit all night. They weren't even getting to him. So they've got to make some moves on the defensive side, adjust some things. They're definitely film watching. And here's something that I drove over here today thinking about it. When you come to preseason football games, I totally believe this. I believe it ruins teams not playing their starters more than just the way people play their starters. Play the first game, you play in one series, the guy's out. The first units, you basically don't play again until the third game, a series or two, and they're out. I think you need to play them a little bit more in preseason. The continuity needs to be there. I know some people worry about getting injured. You can start the first game of the season, get a guy hurt. Aaron Rodgers, he came back, but that would have been a bad thing for them. Green Bay losing first place game. So I think you need to play these guys a little bit more in preseason than what you think is going to make the club. You pretty much know before the season starts who your 53 guys are going to be or close to it, but play them a little more. Give them some reps together. I don't think they get enough reps together, but I think you'll see some changes. I don't think you'll see too many personnel move changes, maybe some scheme changes to help the defense, because we have got to have the pass rush. You don't go out and give up a #1 draft pick for a guy on the opposite side of Cam and doesn't get anything from anybody up front. Anyone else?
One more.
Oh, one more? I get two.
Hey, John, what do you think of the new rule, like when Onyemata was penalized?
I know.
When he put his body weight on the quarterback. Cam Jordan said Sunday, the next thing they're going to want us to do is play laser tag.
Yeah, I text someone and said, all you're going to do next is you're going to put a flag on him, and when you pull a flag, that means he's down right there. It's getting ridiculous. It's outrageous. I think it's crazy. When you're going to get tackled, those guys wear the same amount of gear on as everybody else. You can't tell a guy tackling somebody, you're going to lighten up when you're in midair to go down the guy. I think it's teams are going to lose football games, are going to knock you out of the playoffs because of this. These penalties they're throwing down, the helmet-to-helmet deal, you could have called Fitzpatrick on his touchdown run. If it goes by what the rule says, he lowered his head into the defensive guy first, and they hit head on, went into the end zone. Could throw a flag there. But the 2 in a row, it was actually 3 in a row. The third one, it was helmet-to-helmet up top. The other 2 were just him tackling a guy. You got to go down. I mean, how are you going to determine weight distribution? You know, you're going to have the yardage out there. You got the little strings. You're going to, you know, the guy does on TV show. You can't do that. I think it's ridiculous the way they've done it. They need to start replaying it if you're going to do it the right way, because teams will lose football games to end up losing playoff positions. Any other questions? Well, thanks again. I appreciate Kenny inviting me, and hopefully next year I'll be here at 1-0 instead of 0-2. Thank you.